Well, I had just gotten a letter in the mail, and that letter said this program that I had been applying to get reinstated into the service, where I had put in a whole package and did the physicals and all that, that I had been approved. The policy had changed, and now I was too old to be reinstated to the military. And I was furious. I was angry. I was like, I'm not too old for anything, and I've got plenty of fight left in me. I was so angry, and I wanted to prove that I had good fight left in me that I thought about a fight club that I'd heard about in town. And I thought, I'm definitely going to have to get some fight out of me. I called up my friend Fast Eddie. He's a friend from my softball team, and I thought that he had an extra cup. I asked to borrow his cup, and I said, meet me at midnight at this place that has a fight club. And so he met me there. We go inside and find the fellow who's organizing the fights. I said, listen, I'm in the mood to do some fighting. Do you have anything open? And he says, well, at 2:30 in the morning, we do have a cage match. I said, well, a cage match, what does that mean? He says, well, it's 3-on-3. You get a lightweight, a middleweight, and a heavyweight, and they fight each other. And now, I did some boxing in the Navy, and this doesn't sound right. I said, just to make sure, I mean, we're going to be wearing all the right equipment. And he says, oh yeah. And he says, and like if someone gets knocked out, I mean, it's always going to be one-on-one. I mean, you're never going to be ganging up. He says, oh yeah, we're going to follow all the rules. Oh my God. He lied. Anyway, he said, now what you need to do is go recruit. So I went around the club and I tried to find what looked like a lightweight. And I said, do you fight? He goes, oh yeah, I'll fight. And I said, knowing something about strategy, I said, are you left-handed fighter? Are you a right-handed fighter? He says, oh, I can fight both ways. I knew that he didn't know how to fight. I recruited him. Then I looked around for a middleweight, and I found one, and he was willing to fight, and it looked like he had a good reach, so I put him on one side of me. Now I got them both together, and I said, listen, in a couple of hours, we're gonna be fighting. So if there's anything you need to do, any meditations or stretches or anything to get ready to fight, now's the time to do it. Just be ready at in a couple hours. And so they proceeded to go do beer curls, and which I would not recommend for fighting. Anyway, it's about 3 in the morning, and finally they said, it's time for the cage match, and it was built up the whole, all that night. And so we go up to the ring. The team that we were challenging, the 3 guys were already in the ring, and so now the lightweight, he tries to get into the ring, and he has real problems negotiating the ropes. And finally, he pops through to the other side, and he's laying on the canvas, and there's a little bit of delay before he could get up, and clearly too many beer curls. And so finally, it's not an auspicious beginning, but he finally is able to stand up. I climb in, then the middleweight climbs in. We stand across from our weight category fighters, and the bell rings. And we start trading punches, and it's a slugfest. It's 3-on-3. I've never seen anything like this before. And then about 15 seconds later, my lightweight just goes down and kisses the hand. And I'm like, well, we're going to have to stop right now, or else, someone's going to be 2-on-1. Well, anyway, they let him climb out. Well, they pulled him out of the ring, actually. And then the bell rang again. And now I was fighting 2 guys, the heavyweight and the lightweight. And every time I was like, man, this is not like the movies. I mean, all the bad guys waited for their turn to fight Batman. Anyway, time I got to land a punch on the heavyweight, that lightweight would clock me on the side. Anyway, after about 2 minutes of this, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I'm holding my own, but I'm not doing great. You know, I'm not going to win anything. Well, 2 minutes later, the middleweight goes down. And I'm like, oh, great. Now they're going to have to call this because there's no way I'm going to fight 3 guys. But they lied. And I was fighting 3 guys.
Oh, man.
And every time I landed a glove on that heavyweight, I was getting clocked from both sides, from the middleweight and the lightweight. I was like, oh, they are really clobbering me. And they broke my nose, and I was bleeding all over. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to take too much more of this. And so then my vision started tunneling, and I knew that this is the last moments before you lose consciousness. So, you know, I did the I give up sign. I put up my gloves, and I dropped to my knee, and that's like, you guys win pose. And usually that stops everything. But this wasn't everything for the club. They needed to make money. And now the chanting, kill him, kill him, kill him. I'm like, who are these people? I don't know who they are. But apparently these 3 were a favorite because they were semi-pros, which I didn't know either. Anyway, they started hitting me on the top of my head, like pile driver, okay? And that can really blind a boxer. And so I was like, oh man, they really need to ring the bell, you know? And now I'm kind of looking like, ring the bell. After about 30 seconds of that, the bell finally rang, and I was able to stand up. They declared me the loser. And I was able to climb out and jump to the floor and walk out through the crowd, you know, get back to the locker room. And these people who had just been, you know, crying out for my death were not coming up to me like, dude, man, I don't know how you did it. I would not have been able to take those hits, you know. And the women were coming up to me and squeezing my arms and stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. I didn't understand it. Anyway, it's about as happy an ending as I could have hoped for. Because what had happened was these fight clubs, they did not enforce the rules. You know, they not do real boxing or anything like that. And there was a fatality 6 weeks later, and they ended up closing the fight. I was a winner, you know. I did end up going to the emergency room, and I found out how much emergency room nurses do not find boxing to be a form of entertainment, a legitimate entertainment. They just like, oh, we are not going to touch you for a long time. Here, just bleed into this basin for 2 hours, and then we'll decide what we'll do. Anyway, they thought they were going to teach me a lesson. And, you know, I think it was a lesson. And on a positive note, it turns out this the person who wrote me this letter was junior and mistaken about the regulations, and I eventually did get back into the service.